I'll give you the floor on the Tampa Bay Lightning and their championship, hoisting the cup in the bubble in Edmonton and bringing it to a spot where maybe the Rays or Bucks might be able to add to the run here. What did you make of that championship?
Yeah, pretty amazing if you are a sports fan down in Tampa, considering what the Lightning were able to pull off, Rich. And we talked last year about, the misstep that they had last year where everybody thought that they would win the Stanley Cup and, they were the best team in the league and they got swept in 4 games and, all hell broke loose, but they really changed the dynamic of their team. I think they understood what they needed to add, and they needed to add some grit. They needed to add some toughness. They had to get some experience. They were able to do all that, and look at they had to go play the team in the round 1 of these playoffs that took them out last year, and everybody thought that Columbus was going to be able to do that, and they won in 5 games. They took out Boston in 5 games, and then they worked themselves to Edmonton and went 6 games with the Islanders. So the road was not easy. They were challenged. They answered the bell, and they were a little healthier than Dallas. And look at tip of the hockey helmet to the Dallas Stars. I mean, they made a hell of a run, and unfortunately for them, and it happens in all sports. It doesn't matter, but especially at the most crucial time. Injuries play a part of it, and for Dallas, they were trying to play 5-card stud with 3.5 cards, and they just came up a little short on that aspect. But Tampa deserved it, and John Cooper, the head coach, did a hell of a job. So it was fun to be a part of, and just an amazing job by the commissioner, Mr. Bettman, Bill Daly, the deputy commissioner, and everybody involved to be able to pull it off. And a lot of people didn't think it could happen, and I think it's great for the game, and hopefully we'll have hockey sooner than later, and hopefully we can all get on the right side of this pandemic and get back to whatever the new normal is going to be for all of us.
Yeah, and I want to bang the stick on the ice also, too, for our colleagues at NBC Sports and Sam Flood and everybody else that's been putting these games on, including you and that bubble. And the NHL was, as I mentioned earlier in the league, the last ones to announce, they were one of the first to announce who's in. Yeah. But they were one of the last to announce the where and the when, and they're the first ones in North American sports to complete a season and hand out the trophy. And that's just got to be
that's a great point. Excuse me for interrupting. That's a great point. I didn't want to not jump in there, and then because I would forget that I wanted to make this point. You're right. I mean, the commissioner, the leadership that he had of being out front, when there was something to be said, he was there. When there wasn't, he went underground and stayed low and just had a plan, right? And you're right. They came back. They were the first to announce it, but they waited because they had to be able to be flexible when it came to the virus. Like they wanted, there's no doubt they wanted to have one of the bubbles in the States. There's no question they wanted to have one of the bubbles in the U.S., but it just wasn't the right thing to do. So they waited. They were able to go to Canada, do the deal with the government there, get everybody involved, go to Toronto, go to Edmonton, and to be able to pull this thing off. You're right, and I'm glad you mentioned Sam, our boss, Sam Flood, our boss at NBC, and just the leadership and all the men and women that sacrificed a lot. And again, we understand what's going on in the real world. We had a job to do, and we were there to try to entertain not only the people so-called in front of the camera, but people behind the scenes to be able to make it work. And it was just it was hard, but it beats the alternative, and it was a great experience. And hopefully, it's people enjoyed the broadcast and were entertained at least for a couple of hours each and every night. Or on some of the days, Rich, when we had 5 hockey games going on, you had hockey from noon Eastern until 2 in the morning. So it was a lot of fun and something. It's just an amazing feat. It really was. It was just amazing how it was pulled off on every aspect of it.